Well, welcome to CareerSource Central Florida's Bold Line. And I have a special Bold Line this morning because we're actually going to have a little mini panel presentation talking about career initiatives for young adults. I am so excited to have a couple panelists with me this morning. So welcome, Marcela and Richard. We're delighted to have you on our podcast today to chat about how important career partnerships are for youth career exploration and how powerful they can be. Richard is the manager, community engagement at Addition Financial Credit Union. His role is to connect Addition Financial Credit Union with the community through education, partnerships, collaboration, and community engagement. Marcela DeFaria is part of our CareerSource Central Florida team. She is the Vice President of Development, and she is responsible for business development, managing strategic community partnerships, and building consensus to advance targeted workforce development initiatives to further CareerSource Central Florida's mission and also further opportunities for individuals in Central Florida. So welcome to both of you.
Good morning, Pam. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, I'm so excited this morning to talk about the High School Career Express that Additions is partnering with CareerSource Central Florida on. But before I do that, I want to ask you both a very important career question. So I'll start with Marcela. Marcela, what was your first job?
My first job was handing out pamphlets for a local grocery store. I was 14. Yeah.
Wait, now I have to ask, what were on those pamphlets?
Oh, it was just, come in for promotions and things like that. So it was really interesting having to hand that out in the Florida heat. But it definitely taught me the value of a dollar. So it was a good experience for sure.
Oh, very good, very good. And you decided that was not going to be your long-term career.
No, not long-term, Pam. Nope.
How about you, Richard? What was your first job?
My first job was actually at Marshall's up in New York. Yeah, so that was, and I have still a great passion and love for Marshall's as I shop there myself, and I still have the urge to rearrange the sizes when I go up and down the aisles, and that was my very first job. Did that for about a year and a half.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You're going in there to make sure that the sizes are in the right places because people always move them around, right?
Yeah, it's closing time there when I was working at Marshall's. A lot of that was just rearranging the sizes in the right section. So sometimes now when I go there and shop, I help them out a bit.
And what did that teach you that you did or didn't want to do with your career, Richard?
Well, one of the things it taught me was not to burn bridges, no matter how important or if that job, your initial job, is one that's your career path or not. It's valuable to, with leadership and the management that you're working for, not to burn those bridges, because the individual I worked for helped me actually find my next job, which was kind of somewhere in the career path that I wanted to get into. So that was one of the most valuable things I learned.
The reason I asked you that question, both of you, is that we're going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about the High School Career Express, which is CareerSource Central Florida's initiative to expose high school students to careers in the Central Florida area. And we are so excited that Additions is a major contributor and partner to the High School Career Express program. It really is to provide students, particularly in Orange County, to engage in business visits, to learn about company work culture, career pathways, of course, get a little work readiness in there, and learn what they may want and not want to do in their careers. The High School Career Express program started in the spring of 2024, and we had two participating high schools, Colonial and Evans, which are in Orange County, and we had 53 students. It was incredibly successful and really incredibly inspiring too, when you saw the opportunities and the aha moments that the young people had in those business engagements. So I want to talk a little bit about the partnership with Additions and with Orange County government and Orange County Public Schools. And start there. Maybe we could start, Marcela, talking a little bit about your sort of initial work in CareerSource Central Florida development and the High School Career Express in particular.
Sure. Well, I absolutely love talking about this program, Pam. So we have a variety of really impactful programs at CareerSource Central Florida, but this is one of my most favorite ones, not only because I'm so intimately involved in forging partnerships to support the program, but because I get to see firsthand how the students develop over the course of 10 weeks as they explore different career opportunities in different industries. So I get to see them blossom, and they begin asking great questions. So it's really purposeful to see that. But the program in general, it's a year-round program that's in the fall and in the spring semesters. So as you mentioned, we began with a pilot in the spring. Now we're growing to 200 students overall this academic year from 53, which is quite a jump, and growing from 2 high schools to now 8 high schools by the end of spring 2025, right? So it's grown a lot, and partly I think it's because everyone sees what an impactful program it is. We have principals knocking down our doors, trying to get their schools participating in the program. But really, it's a career exploration program where the students get exposed to different industries. You know, a lot of times when you're younger, you're just not aware. You don't know what you don't know, right? So if everyone in your surrounding, works in hospitality or in the healthcare field, you may or may not know that there are different opportunities in something like semiconductors, right? How would you know that unless somebody you knew could tell you that? So we're able to expose the students to different industries, different companies here, such as Addition Financial Credit Union. We had a student that after she participated last spring, she wanted to intern with them in the summer. We have an internship program. So it's kind of nice, connecting those dots. And what I do is I forge the partnerships and I work with companies to support us in all kinds of ways, including philanthropically. So it's a really great program, and I'm excited to kind of see where it keeps going.
Excellent. So Richard, tell us why Additions is particularly interested in partnering and sponsoring the High School Career Express with CareerSource Central Florida.
Sure. When you have organizations like you mentioned earlier, CareerSource Central Florida, Orange County Government, OCPS, and now Addition Financial coming together to figure out how could we support such an amazing program that gives back to the youth of our community, it was really a no-brainer for us. CareerSource Central Florida is an amazing team, and their passion for supporting the youth made this partnership that much easier to get off the ground. We have a history in education. We were founded by Orange County public school teachers. So this fell right into our wheelhouse. We wanted to be a part of it and support it as much as we can. And we learned through this program that although, being in Central Florida, we're not, maybe the Disney or the Universal, we could still show the culture of a credit union, the culture for Addition Financial, which maybe those students never would have known or seen because, to be honest, most people don't go to school saying, I want to work for a credit union. That doesn't pop up in their head. Or they're like, I don't want to be in banking. But they see all the other things you can do and how you could fit your passion with a culture of an organization. And this program just opens that up for so many students. And I'm so happy that we're expanding that to now over, I think it was 200 students, Marcela said, which is so exciting.
Yes. And it just popped into my head that when you said Additions was the credit union for teachers, I'm like, okay, now I understand the logo is Additions with a little plus sign. Oh, very clever. Very clever. That's very cool. Well, you're a wonderful partner, and we greatly appreciate your support with this program. Marcela, is this program like a company tour? Because we know that many young people experience tours to companies when they're in school during their middle and high school years. Tell us a little bit about how the program works and how it's different.
Sure, that is actually a great question, Pam. So I think in the United States, we're slowly getting career exploration more and more to younger students, but I haven't seen anything at the level that we're doing with High School Career Express. So in part, it is a little bit of a tour, but basically students on Wednesdays are OCPS will bus them to different locations that we facilitate. And really the visit depends a little bit on the company, and we help them kind of put together something that makes sense for the students that are attending and also for the company. So for instance, we had a great partner at Lockheed Martin. That was a little tricky, but we had to do clearance on the students that attended, and they were able to visit some areas of Lockheed Martin that the public and even some folks that work there would never see, right? So it's high clearance. So they got to see something that the majority of folks don't even get to see. But then they also did, they spoke with young employees from Lockheed Martin that worked in different areas such as marketing or finance or HR, engineering, and they did a little bit of a speed networking with the young employees. So they were able to ask questions in an intimate setting that maybe if they were asking in front of all the students, maybe they wouldn't have the guts, right, to raise their hands. But in a group of 4 or 5, they were absolutely able to do that. They also get leadership skills, they get networking skills, they get some professional readiness within the curriculum. And so we've worked with each of the companies to kind of figure out how that would make sense and what they're strongest at. So then we can kind of teach the students in a way that would make it impactful for them. So it's a career exploration, touring, but it's a lot more than that.
Excellent, excellent. I know that on Wednesdays here in Central Florida, students have early dismissal.
That's right.
So actually, I know that one of the other differences with this program is students are choosing to do this after school, basically. And it is an immersive several hours, as you mentioned, Marcela. It allows the students in a smaller setting to actually see the company culture, to see what people are doing in that company, to really have a much more immersive and engaging experience than just going through on a tour, kind of being overwhelmed. I even remember myself doing that as a high school student. We get trucked out to various companies, but I know that one or two of the experiences that I recall hearing about and seeing pictures of course, one was at the HCA hospital in Lake Nona, where the students after school on a Wednesday got to actually go to the hospital. They all got to put scrubs on, and they actually got to tour and talk with nurses and doctors, tour through unused, of course, operating rooms. And they were so excited about having that experience that they did not want to take those scrubs off. They wore the scrubs home on their bus activity. The other one that I remember hearing about was the outside experience with the ABC, Associated Builders and Contractors organization, who had many of their small businesses in all kinds of different venues come and bring their equipment, come and bring their information about how their company works in the construction industry. And the young people got to literally walk around and experience and touch and feel different kinds of construction tools, or put on belts, or hear about how important this career field is to Central Florida. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Marcel, that was the top rated experience that was surveyed by the students in this past year. So they really have an immersive kind of experience. Richard, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the experience that the young people had at Additions.
Yeah, we were able to set up a panel with some of our subject matter experts in different departments. Again, trying to show that banking doesn't have to be your passion when you're looking at a career path, especially at Additions or any other financial institution. And the students were just so engaged with it. They asked so many questions. They asked for business cards. I mean, it really was refreshing to see, because from all the organizations that you guys mentioned, it was like, we could let them in the vault and maybe see if they could escape with money. Like, what do we do to make ours cool?
Is there any money in the vault these
No,
days?
there's really not. It's much less impressive than it used to be. But, we were working on our end, like, how do we make ours exciting? And, what we realized was the students just wanted to learn and ask questions and figure out, like, okay, this organization, this culture, these different career paths I can do as long as the organization has what I need when I'm employed. And they did get a little bit of a tour. They get to see kind of our open concept in the marketing area and so on, but they also got to ask questions. Some people would pop out of their office and answer some of the questions the students had. They were so engaged. And it felt great afterwards to know that we definitely maybe opened some minds to, how folks and students start looking at their career paths. And it really is amazing that all these organizations came together and was able to do that for them.
Yes, absolutely. I believe there were 10 or 11 organizations
Yeah.
that the people participated with over the spring. Richard, I know to you at Additions Financial too, that financial literacy is really a key component of why Additions is so interested in this program. You know,
Yep.
we hear all the time that young people don't understand banking. They don't understand, you know, who is that person named FICA that takes money out of my check?
Right.
You know, how is it that people are banked, especially these days when everything is online? So talk to us a little bit about the financial literacy aspect of Additions Financial Interest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with our roots being education based, we still like to be the credit union that educates, specifically through financial literacy. So, you know, we partner with so many school districts from, you know, the elementary level all the way up to the college level. We have college partnerships with Valencia College, UCF, Seminole State, all these amazing college and universities and school districts, really with the purpose to promote financial education. Just recently, we started a partnership with the Early Learning Coalition of Central Florida, Junior Achievement, OCPS, and we did financial literacy for BPK students. Because if we could find a way to get it at that age and continue the conversation as they gradually go through elementary, middle, high school, college, once they get that first job that they're opening their eyes to now with the CareerSource programs, they'll know when they apply for their first car or their first credit card, or budgeting and what the credit score actually means, and how can I do the right things to enhance my credit score. We just want to make sure we're giving back to support those students, because a lot of them stay here in Central Florida. You know, obviously we hope when they make those life decisions, they look at Addition Financial, but no matter what, we want to make sure they feel equipped to make those financial decisions responsibly.
Yes, so I think what you're alluding to also is the impact of a program on the individual students' actually career and life opportunities. You know, the financial literacy piece really helps them to understand the banking process, the credit process. You know, I'm very proud this past year, and I know Additions was a part of our summer youth employment program, which both has career exploration as well as internships and actual work experiences.
Yeah.
And of the youth that we serve, which is just shy of 1,500 youth, they all were banked, which is amazing. They didn't get paper checks. They had a bank account that had automatic deposit to those accounts. That's incredible when you think about these are kids from areas in our community that are not familiar with ACH payments or banking or understanding credit. You know, these kinds of impacts in financial literacy and of course in career awareness are really critical. You know, Marcela, you mentioned a youth who had gone through the High School Career Express program, who actually interned in the summer with Additions Financial. That's one immediate impact to that youth and their career opportunities. You know, they got to participate, they got to then earn some money in the summertime and learn more about the banking industry. Talk to us a little bit more about the career impacts to the youth from High School Career Express.
So what I really love about this program is that students are able to change their minds based on what they learned, right? So some students thought that they would really love working in healthcare. They might want to be a nurse or a doctor, which is fantastic, right? But then they get into the OR and then they, you know, when they visit HCA Healthcare at Lake Nona, and it becomes a little bit more real. So they can picture themselves in there, and it either solidified that that's the path that they wanted to go towards, or actually that I think that student that interned with Addition said, I may want to do the financial sector because that kind of jives with me more. So it's nice for them to know early on what they don't want to do. I wish I had that when I was in high school or even college. I didn't, right? So it was a learning experience. I had to learn as I got into the workplace, but it's really wonderful that they know what they don't want to do early on. But really, I think, you know, that pipeline into the summer youth program that we have, Pam, is really something wonderful about this program. These students that are in the High School Career Express program, they aren't just, you know, any students that the schools give us. We put them through a process of application. We have to vet them, make sure that they really want to be there. And it's kind of like a career club. So the students that are participating and choosing to spend their Wednesday afternoons with us really want to figure out what they want to do in the future, right? And so we then prioritize their applications to our summer youth program, so that they can get some hands-on experience and get some, real life wages. And, with Addition Financial and partners kind of helping us with financial literacy, then they're able to look at, what does a W-2 look like? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does my paycheck look like, right? So all of that, I think, makes for a wonderful experience for the students and really kind of teaches them what it's going to be like to be the future workforce for us.
Yes, absolutely. Richard, what would you say to other businesses that might be on the fence about partnering with a program like this to get them?
Well, there's no better organization to partner with than CareerSource Central Florida. That's the first thing I would tell them.
Well, we're biased. Thank you.
No, but you truly see that it does make a difference and impact in these students because, again, like Marcela said, they're going there to learn. They really do want to learn and get the most out of that experience as possible. And it makes a difference. And if you're an organization here, a lot of, like I said earlier, these students stay in Central Florida. You're going to want some of these folks who have a passion just from that Career Express program, however many years ago, to be employees of your own. I mean, it's a long-term investment on the organization side as well. Not only just the impact of making a difference, but we want to make sure these students are equipped with all the knowledge, information, and tools that they need to make educated choices once they finish up school and choose that next career. So there's a lot of different ways on why this makes sense. CareerSource does a lot of the heavy lifting too on making this happen. And we had the insecurity, like, are we shiny enough and exciting enough for these students? And no matter what, you definitely are. Again, these students just want to come and learn, and it doesn't take much work to make this happen.
Yes, I love that. I love that because I do think that, opening up their eyes, so many students have no idea about the amazing careers that Additions have. One of the other experiences was with Starbucks, interestingly, and the young people got to actually go and talk to the baristas. I think they might have gotten to make a few coffees, but really understand then coffee distribution and the whole supply chain behind the Starbucks operation. Similarly with Universal, they had an opportunity to go behind the scenes at Universal and really understand what it takes to maintain theme park rides. So really expanding beyond just the initial experience. Again, I think what makes it incredibly unique is it's more than a tour. It is this immersive and engaging experience where students get to ask questions and be able to have information about making those career decisions in their future. So for the two of you, as you think about this program, what would you want to make sure that listeners take away from this conversation and listening to the incredible excitement around High School Career Express at CareerSource Central Florida? Marcela, let's start with you.
Great question, Pam. What I would love others to know is that when we partner together, we have amplified impact, right? So whether it's Orange County, which is, the partnership that really started this program, Orange County Public Schools, which we could not do this programming or any of our programming without, to our financial sponsors in the corporate sector, such as Addition Financial Credit Union, HCA Healthcare, and now Disney, with some others, wanting to join that group. It's what we can do together, right? We have a broader reach. We really can amplify our resources, whether that's financial, intellectual, human capital, to really make this program grow. So those partnerships are really important. And, in Orange County, we have about 60,000 high school students. This program sees about 200. Our youth program, as you mentioned, Pam, has about 1,500. And that's just this one county, right? We have 4 other counties that we serve, which are Sumter, Lake, Seminole, and Osceola counties. How great would it be if we can really get this program, or similar programs in all those other counties too, because we know that it's been impactful, and also to serve more students. So the takeaway that I would love others to get is, if you're interested or if you have any questions, please contact us. We're happy to chat and brainstorm together and dream together, because we could do a lot together.
Excellent, excellent. And Richard, How about you? What would you want listeners to take away from this conversation?
Well, first, I think when you find an organization like CareerSource Central Florida that really cares about the community and the students, try and reach out and engage as much as you can. It really does make a difference. Even outside of the students, there's so much that CareerSource does to support the community. There's always a way to support and help, especially in this program when you're seeing the students come in and learn, and they're actually engaging with it, and it makes a huge difference. And I mean, Marcela named a bunch of really exciting organizations that are a part of it, and I think she would agree that there is no organization that's too small or too different that CareerSource couldn't partner with and figure out a way how we can support the students here and make our community a better place.
Yes, absolutely. I know that, Marcella, you mentioned at the top of our conversation about expansion of the program in the next year to 200 students. I know that we're also looking to expand it to the middle school space and beyond just Orange County into the other counties that we serve. So I want to make sure that any listeners who do want to get involved can find you. So Marcella and then Richard, how can listeners reach out to you?
So I think the website's probably the best, but you can also email me at mdefaria@careersourcecf.com. But I'm on LinkedIn, Marcela DeFaria. Shoot me a message. You can find me. Just Google me. You got it.
We love LinkedIn. We love LinkedIn. How about you, Richard?
Well, definitely don't Google me. Please don't Google me. But no.
Oh, now we're definitely going to do that, Richard.
If you Google Rich, you'll see that he is everywhere that's making a difference.
No.
Absolutely. He is just doing great work in the community. So you can find him very easily.
Yes, Citizens is a wonderful partner to the community and to CareerSource Central Florida.
Yeah, no, and I mean, partnering with you guys help us move along both our missions. But you can find me on LinkedIn, just like Marcella, and then my email is rbarbari@additionfi.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining me this morning and having this very lively conversation, immersive and engaging conversation about the High School Career Express program. And here at CareerSource Central Florida, we are focused on being bold. That is being brilliant at what we do, being innovative in our solutions to career seekers, in being resilient in serving our community and leading the people that do that. So thank you once again. And also to our listeners, we look forward to you tuning in to our next Bold Line podcast.